Hello and welcome everyone to our first Grief Gurus information session. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carol Banens and I'm a certified grief educator, grief coach, author, and I'm a widow. And I'm one of the co-founders of the Grief Gurus, and the other one is going to introduce herself now.
Hi, I'm Lisa McFarland, also a coach, and I've lost two of my children, so been struggling with grief for over 2 decades. And we decided to create the Grief Gurus to help ourselves get the support we need and also open it up to others.
Yeah, and the intention, I think, for the Grief Gurus is bringing together women who are navigating loss so that they can share, they can learn, they can support one another. And through the power of community, they can learn to live with their grief, to restore hope, and to live fulfilling lives like Lisa and I have done now. So that is why we wanted to create the Grief Gurus community. But the other thing is that both Lisa and I have seen personally that there's a gap in the resources for grievers. Sometimes they're not accessible, sometimes they're too expensive, and the timeline is tricky because, as we know, if you're a griever, grief doesn't have a timeline. It isn't 1 year and done. And often grief resources may have 6 sessions or a very limited amount, and you can't access the help that you need when you need it. And that might be at 5 years, 10 years, 20 years if your grief has never really been validated. So we wanted to create a space where you could come, where it is compassionate, where it is caring, where it is non-judgmental, and you can tell your grief story. You can share, you can support and be supported, where you can learn about grief and learn that you can integrate it, that you can lead a life that allows joy back in, and that the power of healing really is in community. We so often don't talk about grief, and families and friends don't understand that your grief may go on longer than they think it should. And so you may hear the, haven't you moved on? Aren't you back to normal? And then as a griever, you feel like, well, I shouldn't say anything, and you shut off and you isolate. And then you haven't had a chance to really deal with your grief. And so this space offers you that. It offers you a place where you can have your grief witnessed, where it is witnessed by people who are grievers, who are not going to judge you, who understand that it is a lifelong journey. Yes, it changes, but it's different for everyone, and there is no judgment here. And that's what I love about our Grief Guru space, that it is just such a loving, caring space. And it's really for women who are grieving the loss of somebody, whether that's a sibling, a partner, a child, even a good friend. It doesn't matter. It's the death of someone rather than the loss through divorce or a relationship. This is a place where you can be open to learning about grief, because when we understand grief, we can cope with it better, where you can learn strategies, and you're ready to do that. You really want to start looking about engaging with life again. And it's not really a place if you're looking for a quick fix, because if there was a quick fix, we would tell you what it was. I mean, I wish we had a quick fix. We don't. There is no timeline, and there's no nice blueprint. I remember trying to look that up when I was grieving. How do I get through this? How long will it last? All of these questions. There is no easy answer. And I think the other thing to understand about the Grief Gurus is a place where there is no comparison. Don't come in and think you're going to compare and your grief is worse. David Kessler, I think, puts it best, and he said, your loss is the worst loss for you. So this is a safe space. It's non-judgmental. It's for women who really want to be supported and to support others and heal in community. And so, Lisa, I would love for you to tell everybody a little bit more about our community and what it involves.
Absolutely. So imagine, think of the last time that you had a meal or a drink or a cup of tea with one of your girlfriends, and you felt like, gosh, you just felt rejuvenated, or you felt seen or heard or supported. So coming into the Grief Gurus, I like to think of it as opening up my living room having some girlfriends sit down where we do, as Carol said, feel safe and heard. Our conversations are confidential, but we're having real conversations. And you may have, like me, had an experience or multiple experiences where somewhere or another, maybe even early on in your healing journey, your grief seeped out in a way that you quickly realized, oops, not the right place or time. Or maybe you learned to just carry your grief really quietly because there is no good place or time for people that aren't grieving to actually witness or hear about what you're going through. So you're not going to get that in the grief gurus. We're connecting and we're compassionate. That is really the ticket in, is just having this compassionate mindset where we're supporting each other. We're having these real conversations. And we do that in a couple of ways. I like to think of our community as being wed together and woven together by three different strings of energies, which is one, our educational resources and support. As Carol mentioned, we've both worked really hard to heal. And in those journeys, I know for myself, I just became this voracious content consumer where I'm looking for proof that people can survive the loss of a child, let alone two children. I'm looking for what are the strategies, what are the ways. There are a lot of resources, and in the community, under that kind of umbrella of actual support resources, we have things that have worked for us. We have programs and things that we've learned about, but we also are inviting and enjoying the contributions of our community members, because you too may have found something that you want to contribute to the community that might be able to help others. So there is, as Carol said, we're certified coaches, we're authors, we've been doing our own grief and healing journeys, or navigating them, I should say, for me, gosh, a really long time. So there's that one strand that gets kind of woven together. The second way that we're really connecting, and a really quite a fun way to do it, is through our live events. And what we do is we have different types of events. In any 30-day period, we have monthly themes, and then we have week to week. We have two events each week, one which is hosted by me and the other hosted by Carol. I start every week off on a Monday morning with a mindfulness meditation, where sure, we're weaving parts of grief into it, but it's more just to help us get a good start to our week and get ourselves grounded. And a couple days into the week, Carol hosts another live event, which is a tea and chat. This is all through our community, where you're just invited to come and share whatever is going on with you in that moment. Maybe you're having a great day and you just want somebody to know, or maybe you're not and you want help with that, or you want to just maybe come and hear what other people are experiencing and you don't actually feel like engaging. Those are all great ways that you can connect with others in live events. On a larger scale, we have two other events that we do on a monthly basis. One that we call the Guest Guru Lives, where we bring a different person, maybe from within the community or not, to talk with us about 3 or 4 questions that Carol and I are always asking people. What's your grief journey? What kind of lessons have you learned from it? What are the strategies and that have helped you? And then what could you offer to us if you were just talking with someone who's just entering the grief space and wanting to heal? What can you offer? So that's a really great way to spotlight the wisdom of others, not because their experience is mirroring our experience necessarily, but because there are some universal components of healing that we can really benefit from talking about. Another live event we do on a monthly basis is another fun thing. It's just a welcome new member party. We get in there and talk to folks who are newer to the community. We also talk about new features and benefits that are coming. We're constantly investing in developing the community, so we like to keep everybody up to speed with what we're doing. So the live events, and then we also have a library of replays for not the tea and chats necessarily, because those are a little more intimate, but certainly our Guest Guru Lives. We want to be able to put those in a place where people can access them. So the live events and the replays, that's a great place to connect with other community members. The third strand that I mentioned is going to be in our live community feed and in our group chats and our DMs. This is just like any social media platform that you can think of. The thing that makes it different is that it's all women who want to support you. And when you post a picture of your loved one because it's her birthday, or you're having a difficult time and you want to vent a little bit in a post about it, this is a place where we're continuously interacting in a way, again, that's comfortable, that feels safe, but that's honest. And because we have a mobile app for phones, really you can access support on your own schedule. Your experience within the community is customizable, so that you may want to come in and just kind of check things out. You might not want to engage. You might not even want to participate necessarily. But as time passes, you can start to dip your toe in a way that feels comfortable. And I think that this is one of the things that makes the Grief Gurus Healing Virtual Community so unique and different from other types of group support. I found group support to be invaluable, particularly in the early days of my own grief journey, but there were things about it that made it hard for me. For example, I might not have been able to go. If they had a monthly meeting and on that particular day I couldn't make it, I was going to miss out on the whole thing. Or maybe I didn't feel like showering that day, or I didn't want to have to, go to the meeting and chat with the other people there, or I felt, too vulnerable or sort of spotlighted, as I like to call it. Those things are not what you're going to find in the community, because it's really a customizable experience. Your help when you need it, the way that you feel most comfortable accessing it, that is our goal. It's all about your needs. It's all about your healing, as little or as much as you want to participate. So I think at this point, Carol's going to tell us a little bit more about how to get engaged.
Yeah, of course. Now we want to know how to connect with us. So in the chat, I have put the link to the Grief Gurus landing page, and please go and check it out, because it's got really a lot of the information we've just talked about on there. And you will see a join button at the bottom, actually all the way through. And right now we have our Founders Circle, which is really an early bird price of $48 a month, which is good through till the end of February. And then it goes back to the normal price of $68 in March. And as grievers, we understand that you're always a little nervous about committing to something, to making a decision, any sort of decision, right? And so we want to make this easy for you. There is a 2-week money back guarantee. There is no risk to you. If you come in and go, not for me, no worries. We will give you your money back and you don't have to worry about anything. But if you come in and love it, then we're really happy, of course. So please think about that. And if it's not really for you right now, if you think, I'm coping okay, or you're not grieving, but you know someone who is, please give this to them as a way of support. Share it with them. Tell them that there's a 2-week no risk guarantee, that they can try it out and see if it's for them, because sometimes people don't reach out and ask for support. This might be a really beautiful way for you to support them. The other ways that you connect with Lisa and I is through our Facebook page and our LinkedIn page, which I have put in the chat as well. And we're both on LinkedIn, but we have emails too. It's carol@thegriefgurus.com and lisa@thegriefgurus.com. And if you haven't put questions in the chat and you want to really speak to us on a more personal, private level, just reach out to us. We are happy to talk to you. We're happy to email with you. And I just want to stress that this community is in its building stage. We are creating something very special. This is very heartfelt for Lisa and I. It is soul driven. Neither of us ever probably thought we were going to be grief coaches or in the grief field, and circumstances have led us here. And I think we are very passionate about supporting women who are grieving, because it is more difficult than we ever imagined. And even though it's more difficult, we can still live a life that has meaning and has joy in it. And that is our aim, to help women to do that, to really come back and enjoy the life that they have left. So, if this is something that you feel would be supportive, if it is something that you might want to tell someone else about, then please go ahead. We would love to welcome you into the Grief Gurus. And Lisa, do you have anything else you want to add? Is there anything we have missed out?
I just want to thank you for being here today. And, I guess I would end it with a little bit of a question, which is, when is the last time, if ever, someone said to you, your grief is important? And if you can't remember someone ever saying that, I am here to tell you that your grief is so important. The grief journey and the healing journey for me has brought so much. I call this collateral beauty, off of a grief kind of themed movie that I saw once. But I thought, what a beautiful way to describe the blessings and the gifts that come out of actually getting to know our grief. Grief is not the enemy. It has a lot of value and it has a lot of lessons to teach us. So we're not trying to fix grief. We're not trying to resist it or make it go away. We want to get to know it a little bit, but we want to do it along people that are going to keep us company, help us feel secure, and not kind of go doing it on our own. But it's only when we bring it out into the light that we can really see what it has to share with us. Our grief is the result of the love that we had for someone who's no longer here, but the love is still alive. So we want to look at it differently. We want to get to know it. And I have so enjoyed my time getting to know Carol. And again, as she said, this is a soul driven, I love that phrase,
Mm.
effort on our part. And we'd love you to be part of it. So thanks so much for being here. Thank you, Carol. And we'll
Thank
see
you,
you
Lisa.
around.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks.